If you want to see me create my first eye look with the Make Believe in Yourself palette from Tarte, then stick around. Hi there, it's Hélène, and yes, we are going to play with this little palette, this little gem of a palette. If you have not seen my swatches for the Make Believe in Yourself palette from Tarte, I will put them right there. And I am very, very happy to have gotten my hands on this little gem of a palette. And I heard from Jodi in a comment on this video that she has this palette and has not used it yet. So whether you are like Jodi and it is in your collection but you're not using it, or you have a chance to get this palette, or it is in your collection and you have used it but you haven't used it in a while, then this video may be for you. Or if you just want to be entertained by seeing stuff, colored powder put on my face, welcome as well. So I am going to play with this palette, and I've been looking at the different options here, and just as was the case when I was doing the initial swatches video, I kept saying, oh, this is beautiful, oh, this is beautiful, oh, this is beautiful. To me, they are all beautiful. It just depends on what I'm doing in a given day, I guess, and what I am wearing, what colors would complement what I have on. And today I have on gray, a gray sweater and a gray jersey shirt, long sleeve t-shirt. So I think that I want to go with a cool look. Now, what do I have on my face? I've done all of my face makeup. Everything that I'm wearing is going to be in the description box if you want to take a look. But for my eyes specifically, I am using a combination of the Urban Decay Primer Potion with a tiny bit of Makeup Forever Aqua XL in M56. And that was just for my eye primer. It wasn't necessarily intentional to do a specific type of color. No, just to give myself a sticky base. And then I used something a little bit unusual to use as powder over the eye primer. I used the Hoola Lite. And I used the Hoola Lite because the Hoola Lite is too light for me to use as a bronzer. I have the regular Hoola all over the periphery of my face right now as well. And so I'm trying to use the Hoola Lite as opposed to just have it sit there. And I think that as an eye primer for me, for my skin tone, I think it looks pretty good. And I also didn't want to use a color that would be a problem to have the color that I have in this palette show up. There's only one, if I can get there, only one color in here that is a matte. And as I mentioned in the previous video, I just wish they were all shimmers, but anyway. And this color Myth I wanted to put in my crease, because if Jodi or any of you are trying to use this palette, you would probably use that matte in some way, shape, or form, so I might as well use it today. And then as far as the highlighter, I actually used a different highlighter. I used Dandelion from Benefit on my cheekbones, but I think I might add a little bit of that highlighter as well. But I will definitely use it on the brow bone and possibly on the inner corner of the eye if the spirit moves me. We will see what happens. So as I said, I've got my eye primer on, I've got the Hoola Lite, and I am ready to go into this palette. And I think I'm debating between I want to use all of them. That's the problem. Okay, first off, we're going to go with this in the crease, which is that Mystic color, no, Myth color. And then I'm thinking that I want to go in, well, here's what I'm thinking anyway. I want to go in with this brown shade on the outer lid. And I think the proper one to use, well, brown and blue looks good. I think I'm going to go with Mystic on the inner lid, inner to center lid. And I think that the brown from Magic and the blue from Mystic should work well together, but we will see. So let's start off with Myth as the matte brown, or it's almost like a matte taupe really, in the crease and outer lid, and then we'll go from there. For the crease, I'm going to be using my favorite BH Cosmetics brush. I only have one BH Cosmetics brush, but I like this as a crease brush. It is the number 5 Pro brush, and I'm going to go right into Myth, that matte brown, and I'm going to go right into the crease. That applied pretty easily, so let's go and do the other side right away. Yeah, that was pretty effortless. Oh, I forgot to mention that I did do my brows as well with the ABH Brow Wiz, and I also put the 24/7 Glide On pencil by Urban Decay on the upper waterline and lower waterline to just so that my eyes were not lost in these bright lights. Okay, I think that is good. There's not much, no rocket science really to a regular matte, so that went well. And now I think I'm going to do the brow bone right away. And for the brow bone, I'm going to use this contour shadow brush by Smashbox. I like the fact that it's nice and fluffy, and I'm going to pick up a little bit of this one right here, which is the highlighter, and go right to the brow bone. Whew, that is very sparkly. A little bit goes a long way with this one. Wow. Okie dokie. In retrospect, I would have used a smaller brush, but we are committed. That's fine. Okay, I'm just going to soften up the edge here with whatever's left on my BH brush. All right. And now for the rest of the eye, I'm going to go with my fingers for application because with this kind of eyeshadow, I find that fingers work better. And then I will clean up with a different Smashbox brush. So we talked about Magic. This one is the one that I'm going to go in with on the outer lid. So let's do that right now. I'm going to use my ring finger. I really like how easily I can hold this palette as I'm doing my makeup. So as a second palette for travel, I could see that being really a nice palette to travel with. So one palette of mattes and this one for the punch of color that you might want. Okay, we're gonna go in with it again. All right, that looks okay. And then I'm going to use whatever's left on the finger just on the outer lower lashes, as I often do. I like this effect. Okay, I think I'm going to go in with the other color now, and I'm going to use my pinky, and we are going to go into Mystic, as I mentioned earlier. And I think that they will look very good together. So let's go right into Mystic. And it looks like that. Very pretty color. And let's see what happens. I'm going to go in a second time just to make sure I have full opacity for Mystic. Myth, Magic, and Mystic. This eye look today brought to you by the letter M. That was not intentional. Okay, I like that. I really like the color. Actually, both of these. And what I want to do is I'm going to go in with a precision brush from Smashbox and just get into the inner corner here. If you've been on this channel for a bit, you will know that this is a favorite brush of mine. It is the Multitasker, I think it's called, Multitasking Detail Brush from Smashbox, as I mentioned, and I'm going to go right into Mystic. It's a pyramidal shape, and so it gives you a lot of precision where sometimes other tools cannot provide. Okay, so that kind of cleaned up the edges, didn't it? Almost semi like a cut crease. That's good. And I did go a little bit over with Mystic past where I would like, and I still have brown on my finger, so I'm going to see if I can just get the brown back a little bit. Back and forth a tiny bit with these two. Okay, I think that looks all right. I'm going to duplicate it on the other side and speed it up for you so that you're not bored to tears. And then we will talk about how we finish the look. Okay, I am liking the way it is turning out so far. I don't think that I'm going to do anything more for the inner corner. I don't think that I want to use the highlighter. And as a matter of fact, having used it on my brow bone, I don't think it's a highlighter that I want to put on my cheek. So that's perfectly fine. Although it would probably be less blingy on the cheek, but I think I want to try it at some other point. I'm not interested in putting it on my cheek today. I think it would look good on camera, but I don't think it would look good in real life. So I might try it end of day or whatever before I take my makeup off just to decide. But I like the way this has turned out so far. I'm going to select some liner, some mascara, and probably a colorful liner for the lower lashes, and I will be right back. Okay, here's what I've decided to do. I've decided to use the Sephora Classic Felt Liner on my upper lash line. I'm going to try a brand new liner that I am featuring in a video that will be coming out very shortly, and this is the Lise Watier in Charbon or Coal. And this is the color here. I tried a bunch of different colors, so don't mind my other swatches there. This is the one I'm going to use because I think that it looks like it has a little bit of a tendency toward the blue-gray with a hint of purple. And given that I'm wearing a silvery blue, I thought that this would look pretty good on the lower lash line. And I'm going to be using the Better Than Sex mascara on the upper lashes, and then the Annabelle Skinny Mascara for my lower lashes. I will do all of that and come back and show you the final look. All right, I am back and I have a bunch of products to talk about that I have put on my face. I did reapply the Zero on my upper waterline because I noticed it was kind of fading. I did use the Charbon pencil from Lise Watier, a Canadian brand, on my lower lashes, and this stuff does not budge. I washed my hands, tried to rub it off, it's still there, so pretty awesome liner. I would argue that an Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On as well, when it's allowed to set, is pretty much budge proof as well. And next up I have the Sephora Classic Felt Liner, and this is a perfectly fine liner. I don't think they make this one anymore, but it was certainly a very good deal. A lot of the Sephora collection products are pretty reasonably priced. And you know, the quality varies, but as far as the felt liners, these types, I was pretty happy with them. Next, I have the Better Than Sex mascara on my upper lashes. I did 2 coats of that. Not my favorite mascara. L'Oreal Lash Paradise is fine. It's just a mascara that I got in a set. It was the Sex on the Peach set by Too Faced, and obviously Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, but it ended up being of super, super value. And I used Annabelle Skinny, a Canadian mascara brand, or a Canadian brand, and they make mascara, on my lower lashes. And the reason I use this one is because the wand is tiny. And so it doesn't smudge all over the place. And that's why I like using it on my lower lashes. And finally, I put on the White Russian Buxom Full On Lip Cream. That is what I have on my lips now. And I thought that it was a nice light pink color to go with the eye look. And I used 2 different setting sprays. I used the Joe Fresh and Go Hydrating Setting Spray. This is my cheap setting spray for the periphery of my face. And then I use a mattifying spray on the T-zone of my face. And this is the Peach Mist by Too Faced. And this one, you have to remember to shake, otherwise you'll have interesting spots all over your face. So that's it. That is my look. Let's just recap really quickly what I did with this palette. Myth is the first one. That is the one that I put in my crease. Now, the one thing that you didn't see me do, which I would normally do, is go back with my crease brush. Where is it? There we go. Back in with my crease brush to even out the edges of the shimmer, but it was pretty clean to me, so I didn't feel the need to do that. But that would normally be a last step of mine. I felt like I was able to be pretty precise with these shimmers slash metallics, depending how you see it. And then going in with Magic was quite effortless. So Myth was super, Magic was super, and I thought, okay, great. Are we going to be 3 for 3? Given the swatches, I was pretty sure, but you never know when you go from arm swatches to the eye. Well, I have to say that Mystic is great. These shimmers seem to stick really well to the eye. Minimal fallout. I see just a couple of specks right here. I bet you I can just brush them off. Let's try. This is the brush I always use to brush off whatever's left here. Let's see if I can get rid of it. There we go. And this is called the Angle Powder Brush by Smashbox. Not a recommendation, just letting you know what I'm using. Yeah, it came right off. So this is a very user-friendly set of eyeshadows. So there you go. This is my first look with the Make Believe in Yourself palette by Tarte. I have to say that if I were to do this look again, the only thing that I would do is Magic, to me, is a little bit light. Now, I like deeper outer lids. If you want an understated look, this is an understated look as far as the depth of the outer lid. If that is not something that you go for, you can dispense with what I'm going to say, but I would probably go with a deeper matte color in the outer V, so that when Magic goes on top, there's more depth to that color. But for an everyday look that's not too, in your face, I think that, look at the inner lid. But as far as not having too much bold color, I think that that's okay. And if you are nervous about the blue that you see in Mystic, I would argue that the only thing that you need to do to tone it down is to not go as far in on the lid. Only go out as far as you are comfortable in showing that much of a kind of bam color. I would definitely argue that it's nice that you can put some on the lid, and if you feel like you've gone too far, you can go with the outer lid color and cover some of that up and just tone it down a little bit. Another option as well is to have would have been to have Magic, the deeper brown, on the outer lid, on the inner lid, and just do a small pop of blue on the center lid. That also gives you a lot of control over how much of the more emphatic or brighter color you use. So that's it for the look. I thank you very much for your time. Jodi, I hope this was useful to you in some way, shape, or form. I have no doubt that this palette will be showing up on this channel from time to time. I'm actually thinking of doing a focus actually on Tarte. It's been a while since I've done a focus on Tarte, and I have a handful of additional palettes from that brand, and I think that it might be nice to do a number of looks with them, especially since the other palettes are more permanent palettes in the Tarte lineup, and that might be useful. If you would like to see a brand new focus or refocus on Tarte, let me know in the comments. That would be helpful. So that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it every time, and I do look forward to seeing you in the next one. But for now, take care.